Hello everyone, welcome back to GGN. This is part 4, should be the final part for today, but who knows. My website is ggnonline.com if you'd like to help me out with donations of that. I appreciate those that have donated. They're first-time donators. I appreciate it very, very much. Also on YouTube, ddarko2012 and ddarko2013 are my YouTube channels. So, okay, we left off with this with Stephen Hawking telling students the universe does not need a God to exist, that contrary to many feelings of God enthusiasts, the universe did not require a deity to create, nor does it require one to continue existing. It says here he added that such questions can pose problems for people who look to imagine deities for the answers they seek. What was God doing before the divine creation? Hawking asked. What was he preparing hell for people who ask such questions? Teacher fired for Bible. Substitute teacher sacked for giving out a Bible. It says here, the teacher from New Jersey was fired for engaging in scriptural discussion, then giving an inquisitive student a Bible, filed a formal complaint this week with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. It says here that they stated that cited religious discrimination as the reason he was fired from the school district last year. So it goes on here and it says that this Tutka says has fully commented to a student who happened to be standing first in line that the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. The saying is taken from a common theme in the Bible. It says here that Tuka's complaint says that in response to the student repeatedly requiring him or inquiring as to his remark, Tutka gave him a pocket-sized Bible after asking the student if he owned one. School says kids need permission slip for Santorum talk. This is from the 11th, probably already took place, but I didn't hold on to this article to include it in these types of articles that have been covering. Michigan high school cancels and uncancels controversial speech by Rick Santorum. So it says here, listening to Rick Santorum is the kind of activity that requires parental permission. That's the conclusion of Michigan high school. It says on Monday they decided to cancel the event, but then generated outcry from the other side to keep it going. So now the speech is back on, but students will be need to sign a permission slip or have their parents sign a permission slip to watch the basically the speech. It says here the socially conservative senior who invited Santorum has accused the school of canceling the speech for political reasons. It says here because of Santorum's views on gay marriage and education during the conference. It's easier to model as a man than a woman, says Casey Legler, the first female to be signed as a male model on her knack for gender bending. So Casey Legler was the first woman to be signed exclusively as a male model, and now she has opened up about how she finds it easier to model as a man than a woman. The androgynous 35-year-old, who was an Olympic swimmer for France as a teenager, likens the act of male modeling to the kind of performance art. So this individual follows in the footsteps of Andre Pet, whatever, an Australian male model who walks the catwalk for both menswear and womenswear brands. She acknowledges that, like his career, hers is based on the evolving perception of gender boundaries in the modern world. It says here a transgender woman was banned from a western Idaho grocery store after customers complained she used the women's restroom. Alberto, 25, of Lewiston, identifies herself as a female, goes by Allie. She was leaving basically store on April 8th when police officers gave her paperwork informing her that she had a no trespassing order against her for using the women's restroom. They pretty much just came up and said, okay, you're not allowed at our store anymore. So the individual, the man, says she used the women's restroom at the store on previous occasions without any problems because she looks and dresses like a woman. According to the National Center for Lesbian Rights, 13 states, including Washington, protect transgender people from discrimination in public accommodations. National Hockey League joins with group to support gay athletes. It says here, NHL formed a partnership Thursday with You Can Play, an organization that promotes gay and lesbian equality in sports in an effort to make the league more welcoming to gay players, fans, and officials. Make more money is what it is. It's trendy. Communist Party, Socialists, not sure what the big deal is over Melissa Harris Perry. Most of you probably already seen this news. It's not really news anymore, but just following up on it from April 10th. The Communist Party USA and Democratic Socialists of America don't see what the big deal is when it comes to MSNBC host Melissa Harris Perry's latest 30-second spot advocating for society to move beyond its private idea of kids belonging to parents and families and to the notion that they belong to whole communities. You guys probably remember this article too from April 11th. Mother declares her children are the biggest regret of her life. And they keep coming up on these Yahoo Shine. So, I don't know if they're the same people. But either way, 7 signs of an introverted mom and why it's okay. I'm an introverted mama with 4 extroverted children and an extroverted husband. On countless occasions, I've beaten myself up trying to live the social, extroverted lifestyle my young family craves. Feeling sad because I'm not a fun mom. Wondering if there's something wrong with me because I don't get excited to host play dates, attend birthday parties, or crave alone time away from my children. Why I don't want my kids to call me mom. Says that's so weird. Why doesn't your son just call you mom? Says everywhere we go people comment on it. I respond like I always do with the truth. I kind of dig it actually. Apparently her son calls her Miss Eva. It makes her feel young and free like a 20-something European. And it says she can make irresponsible choices like give them ice cream and at the park before dinner. They can eat Doritos and Cheetos without any guilt on my part whatsoever. Says there's never any confusion when multiple kids start screaming mom, and all in all, Miss Eva rocks. She's not like anything like mom. Mom is responsible, authoritative, and boring. You guys probably remember this article as well as your local police department using pictures of pregnant women and children for target practice. So Law Enforcement Targets Incorporated responded to the public outcry over targets featuring pregnant women, children, and grandparents. They're called No More Hesitation targets for law enforcement. One of them was like this, a little boy with real gun, no more hesitation, pregnant women threat. So when you see that and you see this fired Trayvon target, cop blames conspiracy, targets were a no-shoot training aid. Florida police sergeant sacked for bringing Trayvon Martin-themed targets to a firearms training session says the targets were a no-shoot training aid and its firing was a politically motivated. So, cop shoots baby and baby's father in double murder-suicide, says NYPD. They say an off-duty NYPD officer shot and killed her baby's son and the baby's father in Brooklyn Monday before turning the gun on herself. Police officer who put a camera in Glen Burnie High School bathroom won't be charged. Police say no criminal violation found. So it goes on and says that no criminal charges will be filed against an officer who placed a camera in the boys' restroom at the high school. Says the officer involved in the incident, who was not identified, remains on administrative leave. With police in schools, more children in court. So, as school districts across the country consider placing more police officers in the schools, youth advocates and judges are raising alarm about what they say they have seen in schools where officers are already stationed. A surge in criminal charges against children for misbehavior that many believe is better handled in the principal's office. So this is all part of the getting them in the system, and the criminals, getting records on them, rap sheets or whatever. They already train them through going through their lockers and the canine dogs and bringing a Pop-Tart gun. You can get arrested, or a little keychain with a little toy gun. Everybody freaks out. So. But like I said before about having all these cops and stuff like that, it's just imagine in the future they'll have private court systems, family court systems, school court systems, and these huge complexes where you'll see your kid maybe once. You'll have visitation rights on the weekends to see your kids, and of course by then, it's so bad now that as far as families go that most children don't want to have anything to do with their parents. So it's just imagine 2 days out of the week they're going to want to get the hell out of there and go hang out with their other social cliques. So visitation rights, and they'll have them all locked in these complexes, and they won't even really want to leave probably anyways. Gymnastics, coach who sexually abused 7 girls as young as 6 walks free from court as judge accepts his remorse despite attempts to blame victims. So it was spanning 40 years of abuse, was handed a 15-month prison sentence, suspended for 2 years. The judge said offenses were not specimens of a course of conduct, says the punishment has in effect already begun. So I guess he had passed the blame on to the victims and the probation court, and it says here that the sentence slammed as everything that is wrong with the British justice system. Former high school librarian and prison chief arrested in cannibal cop plot to kidnap, cook, and eat women and children. So the 61-year-old and 65-year-old were arrested for plotting to kidnap and eat women and children. The FBI arrested after following their investigation that began with the New York cannibal cop who was found guilty last month. The men responded to online ad calling for help and kidnapping, raping, and killing a man's wife, sister-in-law, and the sister-in-law's child. So the 61-year-old brought tools that he thought would be helpful, including a taser, ski mask, and hammer and forceps. He said he had responded and met with undercover officers repeatedly. He's a former high school librarian. It says here, New York's prestigious Stuyvesant High School, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but like on Alan Watts' website, go check it out. This guy actually went there. The victim of Miami zombie attack graduated from Manhattan's Stuyvesant High School. So, pretty interesting. This is the guy who had his face eaten for 18 minutes. NYPD officer convicted of cannibal plot case, so this is what it's going off here. So, he was convicted on Tuesday and charged to plot to kidnap and cook women to dine on their girl meat. So, pretty disgusting stuff. Rockefeller wants to add media violence study to gun bill amendment, faces up or down vote. So, it's going to study media violence. And I just watched this movie the other day, and it is just nothing but blood. I was told to watch it because it represented the future and the futuristic cities, these Babylons, these mega cities and mega regions that we always talk about. And it does seem like it, you know, these big skyscrapers and everything goes on lockdown, the whole thing. You can't even get in or out or what. Then they got these judge, you know, judge, jury, and executioner, kind of like these super cops that police the sheeple. Teen fan of Into the Wild goes missing in Oregon. Kind of a sad story here, but 19-year-old supposedly disappeared a month ago, possibly intentionally. He said he was going to be gone for a few months. He'd be off the grid, but it says that she said that he was a big fan of Into the Wild and studied survival techniques, but had no real experience outside family camping. So she said that still he is not a survivalist. Said he's a very urban child. But goes on here, he says here his father reported him missing. There was no sign of him until Monday when a rancher found his pickup truck abandoned on an unnamed mountain road. So it says here the teen is a vegetarian with no desire to kill animals. And it says also he thought he was going to eat berries. We tried to tell him berries don't grow in wintertime. Like someone said in the comment board, you know, it's just like, you know, maybe the guy just went out to die. Like, you know, the guy in real life in the movie, Chris McCandless. You know, like these people say, you know, a month is it's not impossible. It's a long time, but not impossible that he might just survive and walk out on his own. But it's interesting because people say, "Oh, ban the book," you know. Don't, you know, these ideas of escaping the grid, escaping this slave system, you know, ban that idea, right? Let natural selection take its course. So this is how people see this stuff. They're really, really hardcore. And it sucks because I hate our society. I completely hate it. I wish I could go back to form little tribes freely, right? That if you want to sit in your Babylon cities, you can do that. But if I want to form my own little commune or whatever, then we can. And we can learn how to survive, you know? So like most assholes, they don't understand that they've lost all that ancient knowledge that people, your people have acquired for years at a time. That, you know, hundreds of years at a time, they've acquired to healing, for spiritual guidance, how to navigate. This is all things that we used to know, but we lost when we started to become selfish and individualistic, and that's it, you know? So I think that's a reverse of natural selection. I think it's just complete engineering of society. So the hardest part is going away from the grid and trying to get away from that. You'll have people fighting all the time, people trying to shoot you, kill you, steal from you because you're alone. For 40 years, this Russian family was cut off from all human contact, unaware of World War II. In Siberia, a family of 6. How'd they do it? Because they were a family, because they were a unit. This is a new family, dad and daughter deploying to Afghanistan together. That's right. They're going to deploy to Afghanistan. So a man killed himself at a NASCAR race in Texas sponsored by the NRA. Again, I think it's a psyop. Lawyer says Utah dad is devastated over killing his son. Had his 5-month-old son on the couch to try to shoot him in the head and try to kill himself before a family member intervened. Or mind control. American Pie actor calls 9/11 for a knife-wielding woman, and police officer shot to death at MIT. So here we go again. Thank you.